Welcome to Prewriting, the first step, a mini lesson. The first question is always, what is prewriting? Well, prewriting is a set of activities and strategies good writers use to plan their writing. Prewriting activities may look like lists, roadmaps, and pictures. Why do we prewrite? Well, we prewrite when we don't know when to start, and we prewrite to help us stay on topic while we write. And prewriting also saves us time when we will go to revise our work. And we can use prewriting to give us more time during testing situations. When should we prewrite? We should all consider prewriting when you can't find a way to start, when you don't think you have enough to write about, when you have a limited amount of time to write, when you're writing on paper without a word processor, and if there are multiple requirements you have to hit to get a grade. There are two types of prewriting. There's prewriting that comes during the brainstorming stage, where you get ideas. Those are free writing and cue lists. The second stage is building stage, when you're forming your ideas and mapping. Then after this stage, you can move on to outlining or starting to write your essay. Free writing is during the brainstorming stage, and it's a short period of time where you get to write about the topic. The point of the free write is to get all of your ideas out of your head and onto paper so you can see them. So spelling and grammar doesn't matter. All you need to focus on is getting down everything you already know about your topic. Cue lists are where you would start after that. So cue lists are question lists that help you identify what you want to talk about and what you might need to research before you begin writing your essay. They contain how, what, why, and who questions, and they also contain important I wonder statements. These questions will help you develop points and paragraphs in your essay. Now I'm going to show you a short video of me attempting to web a topic. So webbing helps writers see what they want to write about. Webbing also helps you determine which points are important enough to talk about in your essay. And as you fill in the web, and as I fill in mine, you'll see I use sentence fragments, phrases, and other words to develop my ideas.
Hi, I'm going to show you real quick how to use mapping and webbing as a prewriting activity, and I'm going to model it for you based on the prompt that I was asked to write an informative piece about Kwanzaa for the school newspaper. So I have already created a cue list of questions that I think that readers should be able to answer by the time they're done reading my article. So I'm trying to be informative. So I asked your basic questions. So I asked when, what, who, and why, and I already found some of the answers. So I can go ahead and start with my mapping and webbing activity because I already have some information. I just don't know exactly where to start and which is most important. So maybe some of this information isn't really necessary. So center of my web, I can just simply put my topic. Topic is Kwanzaa. Okay. So the first thing on my cue list is when is Kwanzaa. I thought that was pretty important. So find out Kwanzaa is from December 26th through the first day of the year. Yep, that's important. Okay. So I have dates. I should probably explain why the dates are important too. So what do you do on Kwanzaa? So I have feasting, playing music, and lighting candles. Well, I also know that there's a lot of different foods that they eat, so I'm going to put feasting, lighting candles, and put music over here. know a little bit about Kwanzaa. I know that their feasting has one big meal, small meals, and they do a lot of fresh fruit. Okay, so I have my main idea, supporting ideas, and then details. It's great. It's really going to help me eventually. So I get it done. Okay. So who celebrates Kwanzaa? Through my research, I found that African Americans celebrate Kwanzaa, but also Africans who live in Canada and other Western countries. So where, who are kind of the same question. So my main idea here is going to be the Kwanzaa is celebrated by African Americans, but through my research and what I already know about Kwanzaa, I know that they celebrate in the U.S., in Canada, and in Western Europe. So I have an idea and supporting ideas here. And my last question that I researched is why do people celebrate Kwanzaa? My answers were to reclaim important values and honor heritage and ancestors. And you know, that sounds like two different bullets to me. I think I could talk a lot on either, so they can't fit all in one bubble. I'm going to make them separate bubbles, talk about them separately. So, values, one, and another one is heritage. Okay, so I might be thinking, all right, drew my web, it's done, bye, we're good. But not really, because do you see how some of these bubbles have blue bubbles off of it, where I have supporting details, and some of them don't? Maybe I should look at my research and say, well, what kind of values? I should have little bubbles here, but I don't. Should probably look that up. Same thing over here with heritage. What parts of their heritage? So that would suggest to me that I need to go back and look at my research and fill in some empty bubbles. But if, for say, I do have all my bubbles filled and I think I have enough information for my entire essay to inform my school about Kwanzaa, I start looking at what is most important. Which facts should definitely be kept? Which facts should be combined? Which facts should be cut out? Here are all my ideas. Now I have to decide what actually goes in my essay. Well, I think this one's important, but it's a really big bubble. This is definitely important too. So is this one. But I'm thinking, see how many supporting details I have here? I know the fruit is important because it has cultural significance. But what about the difference between the small meals and the big meals? Do I really need to say that they eat dinner every night? Because they do, obviously. And sometimes they include fruit. So maybe I'll just talk about the big feast at the end that they have. So maybe I won't talk about those small meals and focus mostly on the huge feast that they have. Should definitely talk about this. Okay? Now, what do you think is most important? Probably especially when we're telling people about Kwanzaa. The first question is, like, what is Kwanzaa? So, or why? Why do we celebrate Kwanzaa? So I think to start off my essay, I'm going to start heritage and values. And I can also mark this like, hey, start here. And now I have my ideas down, my bubbles filled. I've decided what is important and what's not, and I can go ahead and start outlining. So I started with a cue list of the questions that I needed to answer to write my paper. I answered my cue list by doing research, and then I took the answers I got from my cue list and put it into this organizational tool called a web. And now I can take what I see on my web and put it right into an outline if I need to.
Alright, so looking at a cue list in a web, we're going to talk about what are the parts of a good pre-write. A good pre-write contains lots of ideas. Labels and titles, like I have at the very top of my cue list and in the center of my web. Symbols, like stars, arrows, and brackets. You can see some arrows and stars in the web, as well as stars and other bullets on my cue list. Numbers and bullets. I don't really have numbers in my cue list because I use stars instead, but that's okay. And bubbles, things circled and other things to denote importance. Here are just some good reminders that you can use to help yourself when thinking about pre-writing. These are also on your handout for you to reference later. So, how do we choose what to do? How do we choose which pre-writing to do before we move on to outlining or writing? So here's a handy dandy flow chart. It should help you decide if you need to do a stage 1 brainstorming stage activity or if you can move on to a web. Most of them will all end in outlining and writing. Now it's time to practice. Look at the 2 prompts on the back side of your handout. Choose one of the prompts to complete and use the flowchart to help you decide which pre-writing strategy you would like to use. Good luck!